So, 1995. Guess what's coming? Windows 95. If ever there was an OS that fundamentally shifted the paradigm of computing, this would probably be it. This absolute banger was released by Microsoft and was probably a good chunk of the reason for the mass adoption of home computing by the masses in the 90s. It's straightforward and easy to use, and it's got an aesthetically pleasing interface, wide compatibility with DOS programs in the existing software ecosystem, and sharp, unobtrusive, business-like aesthetic made it a hit. It was everything to everyone, and the mass market of cheap IBM PC clones on which Windows worked only fueled this fire as it ran on everything, even the world's first truly portable laptops. Neat. There we go. Starting Windows 95. So, for some reason, when I installed it, it was in monochrome. I don't really know why. I've never seen this before. But I figured I'd show it off because, yeah, I've never seen it like this before and it's so cool. I know you can change it. I know where you can change it. And I changed it back and everything works okay. It's just so strange. Also, this is actually my, at first I was like confused as well because my wallpaper was set to cars, which was the same wallpaper I had on my Windows 3.1 system. So yeah, this is the Windows 3.1 system that I showed off, just upgraded. It just made things quite a bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and try this. Oh, it even has a custom little text. Windows is now restarting. See, I guess it doesn't actually have to restart the entire computer from like scratch. It just restarts Windows from whatever MS-DOS thing it does. Yeah, look at that. Now we're in actual color. Is it because I upgraded from Windows 3.1? Did I like mess everything up because I used a floppy disk for upgrading? I thought like, oh god, can you imagine if this like shipped without color or something? But no, everything's fine. Everything works. And yeah, there it is. Windows 95 in the flesh. Do get not command prompt, but just MS-DOS prompt. And yeah, there you go. No scroll back, as far as I can tell. Auto. 4x6. Ooh. 8x8? Uh-oh. How about, yeah, that's a good, kind of. That's probably better. Yeah, you can even change the font. Oh dear, maybe not. So we got memory. Total initial environment. Expanded memory in MS-DOS session. Extended memory. Protected memory. Interesting. See, I don't understand what those words mean. Not really. Oh, and how do I exit that? Oh, there we go. It's Alt-Enter. Wow, that's such a modern shortcut. I feel like Alt-Enter is something I usually only try in modern apps. But yeah, there it is. I just wondered if there was some sort of like version command or something. But yeah, there you have it. I mean, there's not much to really say about it. No playback device. Uh-oh. Well, that ain't right. We should have that sound card that we had in the Windows 3.1. See if it detects anything. Oh dear. Okay, maybe we should leave it alone. So I always wonder where WinVer originated. I know it's on XP. I wonder if it's on Windows 2000 or not. I bet it is. I bet it's there. Suggestion: you may want to install more RAM. Yeah, this PC might not be doing so hot with its 4 megs of RAM. So like you might want a little bit more for Windows 95. But I also figured I'd show off kind of a low-end experience to some degree. Just makes sense. You often see the high-end. You often see people running VMs with Windows 95 and like 1920 by 1080. But I feel like this is what it actually would look like if you used it realistically back then. Oh my god, what the hell happened? I thought I wasn't going to be able to sign up to MSN anymore. Also, you might notice that this is the very original version of internet, or yes, of the internet, no, of Windows 95, because there is no Internet Explorer or anything. There's no web browser, there's setup, MSN network, and inbox, and not much beyond that. Did not find any new devices. See if we can get a Oh no, is there not? Oh no, the Creative Labs, right? Creative Labs Sound Blaster. Oh no. It would be a shame to, I've never seen this, to be fair. Oh dear. Alright, I guess I want to do that. Click here. Yeah, maybe we should be able to just set that. Or maybe we can actually replace this Sound Blaster with a Sound Blaster 16. And in fact, plug in a slightly better video card and add a bit more RAM or something, just to upgrade this computer a notch. But I think before we do that, I figured I just want to show off the OS itself. I've been like hyper focused on this for no reason. But yeah, this is the beginning of the start menu. The first time they introduced the start menu. And yeah, you get a lot more stuff. Like a lot of the same kind of applications as you would before. And in fact, I might as well go ahead and do my Star Trek duty of it's an okay late Simpsons joke. But yeah, still would do a floppy type situation. So I think see if we can read that now. And correctly detected the floppy drive, so that's cool. Yay! There we go. Perfect. Ironic how we didn't end up with much talking about DS9. I think we might have talked about it, but that's like my favorite actual Star Trek. Yeah, I thought I already saved it. Duh. So yeah, you get a start menu. You get a run to help you run any program you want. I mean, I don't think that's a thing, but just in case. Oh shit! No way! Oh my god, I had no idea that was in here. That's genuinely cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's neat. That's neat. I like that. Yeah, if we go to it is taskbar as well. For I mean, you kind of had a proto taskbar in Windows 3.1 with the ability to, with the way your programs would kind of go down into that same area. But here, you're able to, like, do it properly, you know? So what sort of programs does this come with? Not much. You do get a Media Player Classic, Disk Defragmenter, Calculator, Calendar, Paint. Let's check out that version of Paint and WordPad. I don't know, I don't remember if WordPad was in Windows 3.1 or not. Yeah, there it is. Microsoft Paint. He's a big jaw fella. So he's like a big chin, you know? Yeah, how about WordPad? Oh, we got a little technical. I didn't catch what that said. It was something like warning. Very serious business warning. Yeah, neat. So pump it up. Oh, there it is. Pump. Bump it up. Oh, like Times New Roman was truly the like, ooh, modern. It does kind of look like the Among Us font. So I guess that is modern, kind of. You know, nowadays that's old school. Boom. Simple just means like Greek. And anyway, I feel like there's not. Oh, there's control panel, but I feel like I've already kind of shown it because you saw me messing about with it. But like, I'm desperate to get the MIDI working. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll do that, and I'll replace the Sound Blaster with the Sound Blaster 16, and I will add a bit more RAM, and we will pimp this bad boy out and see if we can run it at a slightly higher resolution as well. Maybe SVGA or something. Though I feel like 640 by 480 is just fine. No, we'll keep the resolution. We'll just try to make it a bit snappier. How about it? Alright. Alright, let's see if we can get any. I wonder if it's the same. Uh-oh. I guess not. No dice, okay. Oh dear. Can't search in this. What was I even thinking there? It's not even a thing at all. Wait, how do you... I guess you go to control panel and go from there. Oh dear, I feel like I made this slower, not faster. Off it goes. Yeah, I don't see a device management short. Well, I don't see much of anything right now, but I don't see a device manager shortcut in control panel. So I don't know how else you get to that. Maybe it's in my computer. We should have a look in there anyway. Any luck, Windows? Come on. Oh god, the whole thing's just pretty hung. Oh god. This little maneuver is gonna cost us. Oh dear. I hope it does actually at least find the sound blaster. Didn't care about the graphic. Oh god. There it is. At least we got my computer. And it's ready to install. Sure. Let's see the details. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I did also install Etherlink, even though we don't have Internet Explorer on here. I just figured it might be fun. There it goes. Like, I should stop moving things about like an ADHD child. I don't know what I was thinking. I swapped out the Cyrix 486 with the 386 because I noticed that CPU had such a dog shit like frequency. It was like 20 megahertz. So I was like an idiot, you know. I was like, ooh, you must provide computer and work group names. There we go. Is that good? Yeah, there we go. I guess that's probably about right. I do like how there's different icons for the two floppy drives. Floppy A and floppy B. This is truly an authentic, like, classic Windows experience. You're installing drivers, everything's kind of frozen. Every now and then it unfreezes, and it just, like, drops some new lore, you know? It do be scanning. Uh-oh. Disk 10. Let's go. Yeah, installing it was just like this. Just swap them in and out. Apparently there was never, according to WinArchive, there was never an actual, CD-ROM retail release because there was no universal CD-ROM protocol, however you say that, and you couldn't necessarily like count on a CD-ROM being detected so easily. Obviously you couldn't boot off one, but even if you had a boot floppy, you still just installed it off the floppy disks, all like 20 something of them. It's a lot of files. I don't even know if I have the space. If you think about it, well, no. I mean, 20 floppies, 144 megs each. That's what, like, eyeballing, 250 or something. I'd open the calculator on this. That'd be a good excuse to show it, but I'm a little scared to touch anything right now. I'm also kind of curious if it can show me my free disk space. Just wondering how big the system is. Yeah, this isn't a particularly pleasant experience. Oh god. Yeah, okay, 40, yeah, I was thinking just along those lines, I swear. Algorithms and data structures is the real computer science for real, like, math understanders. I can barely do multiplication, alright? Like, you can't ask too much of me. And there it goes. Not very exciting, I will say. I am now curious if WinVer was a thing in Win 3.1. I wonder what that does. Choose user. GLO. Oh god, it's gonna go back to scanning down. It seems to be picking up speed, picking up some steam. I just wish we could do something else while this was going on, but it is so slow. Darn you, me, and your commitment to authentic realism or whatever the hell. Should have run this in a VM at like 5,000% like acceleration or something. See, I have the Windows 95 and CD-ROM. Like, I have it. You could see it in the My Computer window. I don't know why this is like... I thought that was like a smiley there. I don't know why it's not enjoying... It's not enjoying the fact that I have that. It doesn't want this. It would have been much faster off of this than the bleeding floppy disks. Oh dear, now it's accessing the CD-ROM. Windows OS Tour. Microsoft Exposition. Found out about software available for Windows. Hover Play fast-paced game of bumper cars. How about that? Yeah, we'll check that out. See, I had no idea this was a thing. But that's cool, I guess. The joys and virtues of Autorun. Hopefully Disc 20 means that we're now approaching the end of our journey. It really does feel like some kind of arcane wizardry is happening. It's just copying files, but it's so, like, system intense. It can't be just that, can it? Like, I guess it's all on that hard drive, but, like, come on. 21. It does seem like it's at least in order. So this is the last floppy. 21. Hopefully that's it. Just wanted to install Calc. Wait, what is this? Oh no! It's all for one at a time? Oh, you are shitting me! No way! Okay, yeah, this is not worth it. Okay! Oh my god, it needs a 486-33 with 8 megs. This computer only goes up to 6. I don't think it supports more than 6. Poor thing. Way out of its league. There we go. I think that should be it. Yes, I badly want to restart this computer. So I can at least show you the shutdown screen. Although I guess I don't get to see that actually. Oh. Network password? What's that? I don't have a network password. I guess that's all I need. Just a password. Oh my god, we got MIDI. Hey, there we go. We got at least we got a sound, right? I think I'll pass on this one. And does reopen the windows you had before. See, can we... I don't even know where that is. Is that just in C? I guess we did save it to C at some point. I kind of remember that. There it is. That's what we're looking for. Oh my god. The vaporwave sample of all time. I like how the echo plays and all that. What is this? Oh no, 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 don't open that. About sound recorder. Oh my god. Okay, so this is a PCM file. This isn't like a MIDI thing, sure. That's what I figured. It certainly has that like sampler crust, you know? Sure. There it is. Canyoned. Let's see. Does the... Oh god, it's playing. Not very fast. Slap it. Slap it, girl. Let's go. Can we maybe make the view anything but this? Details, there we go, that's better. Kind of. Man, those old Explorer versions, I feel like they're not that good. Let's sort by type though. Is reg just the registry file? So it has like this triple dash as an extension. Open it in MS Paint. Yeah, you edit your registry with regedit. I read it, and you know, that's like the meme, right? Is the small brain edits their registry in regedit. The like slightly like more powerful brain edits it in Notepad. And the like true Galaxy brain edits it in MS Paint. Just, I don't care, man. You just gotta know where to put the pixels. You're just bad at computers. Look, if you don't know where to put the pixels in on MS Paint to edit your registry right, like, you're just bad at computers. It can't be helped, you know? How about we have a look? Oh god, how do I go back? I guess I don't. That's the neat part. At least we still have this. And I want to run the auto run. Oh, there's that Microsoft sound. Oh, it even plays something when I click on stuff. I have been wondering if the graphics card works or anything, or if it even supports. I wanted to see if I could make this my wallpaper. Obviously I can't do it via right click, but can I see it at least? I don't know what this is gonna open in, just something. But I also wanted to, oh, well, not evidently. Can you close this shit? Thank you. And that. Gee, this, I get why it's called Windows now. So many windows open all the time. Oh. Oh, it's all archives, so it is all compressed. Oh, chat. What's chat? Chat. Chat. Ring in, ring out. What does that sound like? So true, bestie. That's the obviously dubbed telephone ring. I knew that much. Cells interlinked. Oh dear. No, I do not want to do that. What is creature? What is demo? I want to see a bitmap of the creature. Oh god. Oh, yeah, there's a little word image. I feel like with our not enough megs of RAM, probably chill off on the opening of thousands of folders. Bob. Dogs. Ancient. There it is, ocean environments, damn. There it is, ocean environment. Who else up oceaning their environment? Yeah, we can't go above VGA and we can't go above 16 color. So I think that's gonna be that. I mean, it is the authentic way. But yeah, I think I've had enough. We got canyoned up mid. We got that Microsoft sound. Like the first time I realistically ever heard that sound was probably from Blank Banshee. I think that song's called like B Startup on the very first album. It's gonna like blow the mind of some boomer watching this being nostalgic, like thinking that like how could someone have not experienced Windows 95? I was born in 98. There's no way I could have. Yeah, this is still running on top of MS-DOS. I feel like I should have mentioned that a long time ago, but that is it. That's like one of the key things. Even though it's very visually impressive and very different, I can't move this window, compared to Windows 3.1 and such, this is still very much an MS-DOS shell, which makes it kind of all the more impressive in a way. I think I had enough. Let's see the iconic screen. So true, bestie. I should probably write that. I bet someone's already made this joke. Like, write this on my grave. But yeah, that's Windows 95. Kind of crazy to think that this is just a DOS shell. Windows 98 would come out a few years later, serving as a pretty incremental but needed update to freshen up the software for the booming internet age, followed by a much more radical revamp of the system from the ground up, with a brand new spanking kernel. But before all that, how's the West Coast doing? System 7.0 released back in 1991, and Apple really didn't stop there as they kept improving it over and over. This OS is truly something else. When I first tried it, it blew me away for just how usable and convenient and straightforward it is. The aesthetics are simple, but pleasant. It doesn't have quite a strong visual identity as Windows 95 did, something that would change quite soon for macOS in the coming dawn of the new millennium. But boy is it great. Hey, wait a minute, if it released in 91, then why did I put it after Windows 95? Well, the version that I have is kind of the latest, I believe, of the macOS System 7 releases, 7.5.5, which came out in 1996. Let's take a look. Okay, here we are, System 7.5.5. Let's go. And this takes a little while to actually load, but this is a really cool edition of it because it's got all sorts of built-in software and stuff. You can see it's actually got, I've got a desktop background extension thing running. It comes with so much crap on it, honestly. Whoever made this, real props. Wow. Yeah, look at that. It didn't even take that long to load this time. It is so much of an improvement. I mean, you get color to start with if you're using a Macintosh 2, which this is. System software 7.5.5. No more Steve and such, only Apple Computer Inc. To 1995. See, I kind of thought this was 1996, but that works out anyway. The majority of the changes in this were before 1992. It was like 1991 is when System 7 came out, and it was highly anticipated. This is not mine. I don't know who's been doing some C development on here. It's pretty cool though to have all these pre-installed. So look at the settings real quick. You get this, and you can clean up window. Yeah, you get this little animation as well of all the icons moving around. It's pretty cool. Yeah, normally you get a pattern, same as like Windows 95, but if you get enough RAM, you can get like a picture, a desk picture. You get a bunch of these extensions. It's a pretty cool idea. You get like a launcher one, you get like a drag strip one for like automatic and quick launching of software and other stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You do get a whole lot more settings and everything in here, which is pretty neat. Yeah. See what other applications are installed on here as well. So apart from that, what you can do is just look around. I think so right click. So Apple Extras, obviously the ones that are built in, is what we should mostly stick to, but we got a little notepad, mini apps, various like shortcuts there, automation, all sorts of stuff, brightness controls, because I think Macintosh 2 still came with a built-in screen, didn't it? You got an alarm clock, a calculator. It's pretty cool. I like the little gray tile thing. It's just a nice looking calculator. I love the general look of this as well, just the shade everywhere. But yeah, there is a couple things I wanted to show. I just want to try and remember how you actually open a program, like where the list of them is. I think you just go to the hard disk and just look at applications. I don't think there's any sort of launcher or anything. Yeah, let's try to clean up this window. What about those two? You get Adobe type utilities, and that's a little foreshadowing because we actually have Photoshop 1.0 on here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I get some network utilities on here. Someone got like Mac SSH. Yeah, a lot of productivity stuff installed in here. You can get emulation, soft PC. Sure. You get your writing, you get teach text, and you get simple text, which is kind of the successor of teach text. Pretty cool. And just like Windows 3.1, you still have to go to the left and like quit an application properly. Elsewhere it'll still be in there. But you also get Mac Write, which is kind of the writing proper like Microsoft Word type application, or at least more like WordPad. But yeah, you do get some pretty cool fonts in here. I'm gonna try and make it big, about like 24. Hello. Yeah. Kind of forgot how you do this in here. I think you do a Shift A maybe? Nah. Control A doesn't work because that's used for the selecting everything. But yeah, maybe not on the emulator at least. Get Helvetica, you get Monaco. I think I liked Palatino, especially if you do a italic on it. No, that kind of looks ugly. About Times, just nice Times. Your Roman Times New Roman. You get WordPerfect, someone installed in here. Didn't even know that was a thing for Mac OS, but yeah, that was like another little software suite. I actually tried it. Yeah, there you go. Random 48. Here we can make much bigger text, I suppose. Oh, now we can select all like that. There we go. That's big. Profone Classic. You actually got to preview the fonts, so it's kind of really convenient. Anyway, there's a couple documents I made using the various applications. Just some crap I made while messing around to show you off the programs I found particularly interesting. This. I'm scared to know what postmodern art is. Yeah. I was mostly interested in the various fonts that are there. But I feel like this could be some kind of like, if you made it, good. This could be some kind of like advertising campaign from back in the day. Nah. Didn't make any changes. There's Photoshop. I always thought this gradient looked sick. Like, I really like the font rendering and everything. There's no layers as far as I can tell, at least. And, that's kind of a big no-no, that's why that's there. I fucked up. But, You do get gradients, which is kind of neat. This is just make a new gradient. It says it's gonna be just black to white by default, but if you change it to like red or something, make like a red to white or whatever. Ooh, you do get different like appearances for it. So you get the like detached windows, which is pretty standard at the time. You get just full screen, which is kind of the modern way that I think most people probably use Photoshop and whatnot. I think that's pretty neat. Like, this is just so impressive to me. It's so modern. And I mean, that's partially because of just the amount of cool software installed on here as well. But yeah, it still impresses. I don't really know how to read sheet music, so I have no fucking idea what I'm doing, but it seemed reasonable to just showcase it. Yeah, it's remarkably modern is a lot of what I'm saying, and I'm repeating myself a lot, but all of it is just remarkably modern. Ugh, I don't want to print desktop, I just want to quit this, there we go. It wasn't clicked into it properly. Print score. Wonder what that does. It probably just prints it to printer, but I do wonder if there's a way to like save it or something as an image. No printer driver, yeah, that figures. What about this? Yeah, there we go. That's the file. We can open it in simple text. We can't make a new file. That's something that I feel like ages it. That's the only thing. But that's kind of okay because we can just, you know, go to the hard disk and open teach text or whatever. Although I feel like in the spirit of things, might as well just go with Photoshop. Do wonder what it saves as. I'll check it out later. Can I get a JPEG of that? I feel like that'd be pretty cool. If I will, then it'll be like on screen. Is it around? Oh, there, sure. No, that's not it. I'm gonna close some of this. Just like modern macOS, I always feel like it just gets a bit messy with Windows sometimes, at least when you have lots open. Just because of the way that it kind of treats them, I don't know. Get new. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll make it 512 by 512. We'll make it full screen. Let's do that gradient thing again. I was impressed by that. Wonder if I can set the background color. Well, you can zoom in. That's cool. Not very much, but it's cool. Which direction is this gonna go? It does have Control Z, or rather Command Z, which actually translates to Alt Z on this keyboard. I don't know how big 12 is gonna be. Hi, find out. It's not very big at all. There you go. Oh, that checks out. Make it slightly bigger. Oh dear. See, it's interesting when you, even though it's not like a layer, if you do cut it, maybe there is layers, and I'm not any kind of like Photoshop specialist, so probably should not trust what I say about this too much. Let's try 35. I feel like that works, even though like the text is cut off, and it's kind of definitely a quality to it. Oh, you can get a Pixar format, which I don't even know what that is. Why not? Why not? And I'll save it as a Photoshop format. What other formats are there? Pict, RAW, TGA, TIFF. No JPEGs. I guess not yet, maybe. I don't know. Ooh. Ugh. No, I don't want to save it as Photoshop. I like how that's the default name or something. 32 bits per pixel. Damn. Okay, fine. Make it 32 bits per pixel. I thought it was gonna be like too much. No, it's fine. Totally fine with that. Convert large clipboard to pict format. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Can we like view that now? Oh, I guess it just opens in Photoshop. So I think that concludes macOS for now. About Apple Guide, Macintosh Guide. Let's go moving on to the next thing. Before we dive headfirst into Y2K and the new millennium, we have one more OS to look at from the year 1999. First OS on this list to release after I was born. Quite quite a weird one. Due to the legal issues miring Unix and the BSDs, a man called Richard Stallman wanted to create a brand new OS. It was to be named GNU, a backronym that means GNU's not Unix, signaling its desire to get away from POSIX compliance and standardization wars baggage. The OS development proceeded well, and packages of core utilities and much of it was ready, but what it really needed was a kernel. Enter Linus Torvalds, an extremely talented guy from Finland who's been developing an OS kernel that was Unix-like, and yet not necessarily aiming for POSIX compliance or making itself out to be a Unix. Long story short, they joined forces, shook hands, licensed a kernel named Linux under the GNU public license, same as the GNU core utilities mentioned before, the packages comprising the rest of the operating system, and making the whole thing open source, forbidding the modification of it without releasing the source code, something called a copyleft license. This was a brilliant move that killed two birds with one stone. This would prevent any significantly diverging modifications of the Linux kernel to stay proprietary and create a licensing hell like what kind of happened to Unix, and it would allow anyone to freely use and modify the Linux kernel to create a version they like or one that suits their needs. Moreover, this open nature also led to something of a social revolution in software development. Intended or not, it was, as the kids say, extremely based to not let corpos embrace, extend, and extinguish Linux behind closed doors. And it is even further, quote-unquote, based, the free software movement that spawned from this in the form of the Free Software Foundation established the standard by which a piece of software is to be a product that serves its user and respects the user's freedom to modify it and own it as they see fit, and not only the freedoms of its maker to create problems for which they can sell solutions later for a cheap subscription for $17.99 a month. This wasn't even some big middle finger to the corpos. It wasn't politically motivated, I don't think. Ultimately, tech startups of today could not exist without widely available open source tools. It wasn't all one way either. Open source projects could never be as big and complex under capitalism were it not for donations and corporate contributions. Moreover, many companies do actually have ethical business models centered around free software, like Red Hat, and I think that's pretty cool. But I digress. The open nature of GNU/Linux became fertile ground for people to take the GNU core utilities in various programs and the kernel itself, write more programs on top. These collections of programs would form something like a distribution of Linux, a flavor, if you will. And even in 1999, there were many distributions of Linux. Don't forget, this was already 8 years in development. Many of these distributions were really impressive and worth showing. However, this video is very long, and when presented with lots of choice, I say, just pick one. Picking one is better than not, right? So I picked what I would say is the black coffee of Linux, the bog standard, default, ISO standard Linux, if you will, Debian. Also happens to be my favorite. In 1999, that would be specifically Debian 2.1, Slink, named after the Toy Story characters, as one of the original creators of Debian used to work for Pixar. Aiming for stability and strict adherence to free software, let's see what this has got. I should note, early Linux was a bit rough, especially Linux desktop use. Desktops on Unix systems did exist, but primarily it was always a server-type operating systems, and Linux wasn't any different. Even to this day, on servers, telecom, and networking equipment, Linux was kind of everywhere in the mid to late 90s, or at least Linux and other Unix-likes, including BSDs. But on desktop, 1999 wasn't the year of the Linux desktop. Installing this and setting up the X server was not particularly easy or straightforward compared to something like Windows 95, or the very next version of Windows we'll look at. But nonetheless, I'm honestly very impressed with it. And to be fair, by no means was the setup so rough as the floppy manipulation and partition formatting nightmare I had setting up Windows 3.1. So there's that. So, Debian 2.1. Let's see it. So, for one thing, this doesn't come with an X server by default. Well, it kind of does, but it doesn't work by default, at least not for me. And also, at this time, of course, there were many different graphical frontends for Debian and for Linux in general. There were many X servers and there were many window managers. So this in particular is ICE Window Manager, which I think is kind of the most impressive of the lot. So yeah, do get a lot of programs with both the default installation and just some that I've added as well. But yeah, you know, X clock, iconic XIs should be in here somewhere. Doubt it would be in utilities, that wouldn't make much sense. So yeah, this kind of confusing start menu type beat, but that there's multiple things. I'm assuming these come with the actual, these are kind of part of the programs that are accounted for by the application game system utilities, like whatever this menu is from IceWM or from Ice Window Manager. And these are just the programs we have in general, not necessarily like specially accounted for by the Ice Window Manager, but they are still compatible, which is kind of cool. XOS view, I wonder what that is. Oh, just some neat like little utilities. So obviously Linux was very much more of a server operating system, both then and still today. And it is, especially Debian, I feel like is definitely one. But I feel like it's a worthwhile idea to just have a look at how it was in terms of graphical and usability. I think other distros for like personal use like Slackware were probably a lot more popular during this time, but I figured I'd just stick with one and show how it evolved over time instead of jumping between them. So I can't find XIs. Can't see X logo. XDev view and shit like that. But I might also not be looking in the right sort of folder. Like games, toys maybe. Oh, there it is. There it is, iconic XIs. The eyes that follow your mouse. That's all it really is. Yeah, we do get some web browsers and stuff. Doubt they work. Fatal error, system repliacy. I believe it. And I wonder how GIMP is. So this is running without proper hardware acceleration, as in this is running in a very low resolution. As you can tell, GIMP doesn't seem to want to load as well. But I figured I'd show this just because that's how it kind of looks in the worst case scenario. Because I can, oh, there's a file manager, which kind of sucks. I'm not really a big fan of this one. To get a nice terminal. Yeah, you can run your classic commands and whatnot. No screen fetch as of this version, as far as I'm aware, at least. I don't think it's that old. But you can do a uname-a. It does show us that we're running Linux Debian 2 with the 2.0.38 version of the kernel on an i786, whatever that is, unknown. And yeah, 1999. Yeah, I don't think I have this hooked up to the internet or anything. I mean, we can certainly try and ping something. Yeah, network is unreachable. I feel like that's probably for the best, as for now. Let's have a look at how it is with a bit of graphical acceleration and what wonders that can do. I did real quick want to show how it shuts down, which is like this. You get the kill signal to the X server and stuff like that. And you get system halted. It never sends the proper shutdown signal, at least not to VMware. At least not that VMware can tell. So it is kind of like it's now safe to turn off your computer on Windows 95 and onwards, I suppose. Let's have a look at it with graphical acceleration. Yeah, here we are, loading in. Got our Acer motherboard this time. Don't quite remember what our specs are. Maybe we can find out. Oh, there we go. We've got an MMX Pentium, 166 megahertz. 8 gig drive, CD-ROM, stuff like that. You can kind of see it running by on the screen as we're booting in. We got a S3 graphics card of some sort. Never even heard of those. I have no idea what they really are, but yeah, it was something that was supported, so I was able to set up X to X386, not even X.org or anything, to work with it. And as you can see, immediately we've got a much more colorful login screen in XDM with this accelerated server, even though I don't think this is the exact same display manager. And yeah, I set up the Ice Window Manager to be exactly the same as it was on the other machine, just so we can sort of see the difference. But yeah, you definitely can see the difference. There's definitely more colors and stuff. I don't think any of these web browsers still work. And in fact, this one looks kind of busted, but let's try that other one. Let's try Lynx. As far as I'm aware, though, that's a terminal web browser, and that it is. Well, either way, let's actually try the terminal. So yeah, you can see that this is basically the same version. It does say i586 unknown, which I don't know why. Like, I don't think we're running anything. I mean, we're running Pentium MMX, so shouldn't it just be like i386 or something? Or i486. But we can open GIMP. There it is, or the GIMP, as I should say. It's pretty cool. I mean, this is really impressive to me. I feel like just the fact that not only that GIMP was starting off this early, like 512. In fact, we could probably make it bigger, right? 1024 by 1024. See how well it works. Yeah, not bad, I must say. Yeah, and there's some cool utilities as well that I saw. There's a clock. I think we've already looked at that, but I do just find this impressive. Like, I know it's not quite Windows 98 and it's not quite macOS System 7.5, but like considering how young Linux is at this point and all these distros even younger, I feel like this is still really cool that there was already graphical X servers. I think there were even before Linux, to be fair. There were for Unix, obviously, like there was the, in Jurassic Park you see a graphical UI that's running on a like Solaris workstation or whatever the fuck. Silicon Graphics workstation, and I was using like some sort of Unix. That's why she said it's a Unix system or whatever. But yeah, I mean, this is still pretty impressive that all of this is running on Linux under the surface. Kernel version only 2. Out of, I don't know which one we're on at this point, but yeah, the two did last for a really long time as a major version, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, you do get some text editors. You do get Vim. In fact, you get gvim and gedit. And gedit, I think, is GNOME Edit. Gedit by Alex Robert. Okay, so it's just gedit. I do know it as GNOME Edit, like, because it comes with GNOME later on. But this is not GNOME, so maybe this just predates that. Yeah, you do get quite a few games. Backgammon, other stuff. GNU Chess. Yeah. There we go. That's pretty cool. There's another one called 3D Chess that I saw somewhere. That is exactly what it sounds like. Purity, an automated purity test. The hacker test. Test was conceived and written by Felix Lee. And now for the questions. OX000. Have you ever owned a computer? Your answer YNBAKDLSRQ. What does that even mean? Sure, I'll say yes to that one. Maybe. Oh, that's good. I like that. Have you ever used a computer? Shit, that's a tough one. I don't know. I'll say maybe not. It just says maybe, even if I press N. For more than 4 hour continuously. 4 hours? No way. That's not possible. More than 8 hours? Yeah. I like how it's, if I press N, it does a lowercase maybe. If I press Y, it does an uppercase maybe. More than 16 hours? Yes. I don't know. That doesn't even make any sense. Have you ever patched paper tape? Definitely not. Have you ever missed a class while programming? No. Wait, yes. That's actually true. Missed an examination? No. Missed a wedding? What is the other options? B. Backup. Your old answer was no. Missed an examination? A. Answers are now real. Oh, what? No? Oh, shit. There we go. K. What does K do? Kill. Do you have a line picture of... Do you know what the following stands for? Okay, what is S? 66.97%. I guess that's score so far. Redraw. And quit. I guess Q probably is just quit. I'm not going to press that. I'm interested to see. Derange is now on. That sounds fun. Let's say... yeah, maybe? L. Log score is now off. No, log score should be on. Tico? No. Emacs? I don't know what that stands for. I don't know what it is though. I'll say yes. Yeah, I mean that's just editor. VI, visual improved. No, visual. I don't know what VI stands for. I know Vim is visual improved, but I don't know what VI is particular. Visual inline. I don't know. We'll say yes. Xedit in VMCMS. Nope. SOS. Maybe. EDT, Eastern Development Time. I don't know what that is. I'll say no. WordStar. I don't know if that stands for anything, to be honest. Have you ever written? Oh, that's why it's got random capitalization. That's the range option. I thought it was trying to give me like a hint or something. Have you ever written a C list? No, can't say I have. Have you ever programmed? Nope. 6, no. Have you ever received a fax or a photocopy of a floppy? No, I have in fact not. Have you ever shown a novice the any key? Sure. Was it the power switch? Yes. I feel like these days it would be like, have you ever alt-ended Usenix? See, I don't know what that means. I'll say no. Not old enough to know that. Decus, share. Have you ever participated in a standards group? No. Have you ever debugged machine code over the telephone? I mean, that depends. Like, are you helping someone out debugging it over the telephone? Or are you literally listening to, like, an encoded, PCM encoded machine code over the telephone? You're like, that's where it is. You know, you're setting up breakpoints or whatever. Have you ever seen voicemail? Puzzles with an online dictionary. I feel like that's just cheating though. That's not much of a point. Anyway, I don't solve word puzzles. I'm a Gen Z. I consume brain rot. Have you ever taken a Turing test? Yes, I failed. I am not good enough. Like, I feel like being autistic, right, would be literally failing the Turing test. And I don't mean this in a mean way. You know, love me autism, or love autistic people, whatever. You know, I have nothing against them, but it is, if you think about it, kind of like failing the Turing test, because other people can clock you as not being quite, like, if you're not, I guess if you're not masking it so well, I feel like it would be other people can clock you as not being one of them. That would be failing the Turing test if you think about it, because you're no longer indistinguishable from any other person. I feel like I'd say no. I'll say yes. Yes. Ever drop a card deck? Your computer come in designer colors. Oh, that's is that like a Mac SAS? Is it like an anti-Mac SAS? I'll have you know, Mac OS is pretty fucking cool, alright? But, I guess, I don't know if I can answer that honestly. I don't know. I mean, the X1 Carbon's definitely like a design. You know, it's definitely meant to sell in aesthetics to some extent. Never bought a MacBook. I never owned particularly colorful computers, but my current desktop is all white. It is a nice matched white build. The motherboard's black, but it's also like, it fits it, because I also have a Founders Edition RTX graphics card, so it's like black and gray, and then the cooler is all white, the fans are all white, the case is all white, the power supply shroud's white. I'll say yes. Ever interrupted UPS? No, I don't use one. I live on the edge. Ever mask an NMI? No idea what that is. You ever set off a halon system? Someone better be in the comments clarifying every single one of these, because I can't tell what's real and what isn't. I have no idea what that is. Do you still work there? No. Have you ever hit the emergency power switch? Like on the back, or just unplugging it or something? Probably. Probably. Depends. Is it like of my stuff or like of other people's stuff? Because yes, definitely I have documentation of software that is defunct. I wouldn't have gotten this far if I didn't. Yes. Do you ever reverse engineer or decompile a program? Yeah. Did you find bugs in it? See, That's interesting. I feel like that famous paper, you know, the stack smashing for fun and profit. I wonder if that was written like that would have been 1999. For all I know, that was probably written on this exact kernel version or something, or one pretty close to it. For all I know, the guy who wrote it probably was using Debian 2.1. Though I probably imagine didn't look like this, because this look is meant to be like most normie you can get, like a Linux setup, I'd say. Do love this clock. It's really cool. Ever add your activities? Mention your activities. Ooh, really elite now. Do you know? Oh my god, it's like chapter 3. Oh my god. I was just gonna say no to all. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna say Q. Oh, I should have pressed L before I went, but I feel like I'm enough. I've had enough. I feel like I wouldn't mind seeing what files that thing has and just reading that all at some point, but maybe on its own time, in its own space. So yeah, here we are. We got a gradient. Maybe I have to press enter or something? Oh, there it goes. It just took a little while. Yeah, I guess this is a pretty high resolution image. Oh dear. A redraw. Redraw is good. Huh. So how about we answer Apple in its own language? If we can. Here we go. With Mac, I keep forgetting you can actually right click on stuff. And you do get JPEGs. Yeah. I'm gonna just not do smoothing. Smooth it. Make it real smooth. Well, now I want to see what some file something is. It's a shame there's no proper like file browser. At least not a properly graphical one. There is this one, but it's clearly just kind of a DOS / like TUI type like beat. You know? What is this? Oh my god, it just prints it to the terminal. This is useless, man. This is not very good. Is there really not like just some kind of basic file browser? Shell? Usually proc meter, xplay cd, AI, mega hal emitted warning, generating reply. Good day, mate. It is, is that what hal says? Hi. What is this? I think it's just random phrases. I don't think this is an LLM somehow. How does this work? See if it knows what I'm talking about. Syntax. Redo from start. Sure. Web browser. Your web browser? Why is there a web browser in GIMP? Some whatever. Wait. Oh, that's just this. Sure. Close it down. Close it down. It's console. You do get this like console logs. I know macOS has something similar. Like as well. FT, Xterm. What do we have for like actually looking at graphics? I mean, I guess there is always just GIMP. Multimedia. Here we go. Xmixer. That's kind of cool. Get calculator, clipboard, whatever. Yeah. So many different apps on here. Image magic. Shit. Well, I guess that needs to be called with like a parameter or something. Let's do that. Oh yeah, speaking of which CPU is this? Can we do like a image I make? No. The image? No. At least there's no autocomplete. Yeah. I feel like here's a cool idea actually, since I feel like I've been too distracted by graphics and stuff. Because we can drop into a text-only shell as well. There we go. Let's have one failure since last login, whatever that means. I guess failure to log in. But I figured it would be a pretty cool idea to do a listing of like LSL user bin and such, and pipe it into WCL, get a count. Got 1526 programs or something in like bin, and I bet there's even subdirectories there. So I don't remember. I think it's capital R, right, for recursive. Yeah, 1563. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Unless it was just counting some error lines about not recognizing my parameter. I think R, like lowercase r, is for reverse sort, right? And yeah, and actually, reformatting ls. Oh, that's cool. We get properly paginated man pages and shit. Let's see. R recursive, yeah, still got it. And slash bin. Let's see what the count of that is. Permission denied. Oh, I'm not in the sudoers file. Might as well just log on as root. Or, in fact, I'll just add myself to the sudoers file. So sudo, let's just run as a super user and shit. Hey, here's a fun trick. Yes, all. I never remember what these actually stand for. I know there is no password, which means you can run it without password, but... Oh no, read-only option is set. Oh, but I don't... Oh yeah, no, I do. I guess. Hey, how... Oh, because I am super user, sure. You're meant to be using the sudo command as root. I don't think so. At least, I don't want to think that's necessary, right? We can try. Probably need to log out, right? Sudo, whatever the fuck I was doing before. We trust that you have respect, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, 73. I wonder, I doubt it counted the error lines, right? Because it's probably pulling just from stodout and not like stoderror or whatever. But might as well double check. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. 73. So yeah, there's 73 and slash bin, which isn't that many. And then slash user bin. What about user games? 184. Well, we don't know if that's specifically programs. It could be like some, crap, like some graphics files and whatnot. Not everything's a program here. But yeah, we do get a massive Etsy folder as well. I mean, just look at that. There's so much crap in here. I'm saying crap, but I mean like so much important, cool stuff in here. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Can we... Is there LSCP? No. I don't remember if that's a thing or if I just made that up. But I'm trying to think. What was it? It's like cat dev. I mean, I guess. So I don't think I have screen installed, but CPU, or something. CPU info, that's the one. Let's go. Okay, so it's a Pentium MMX. Oh, I already found that out, but that's cool. At least we got to see it in here. And check out some of Linux and shit. Oh yeah, we also usually do a cat of Etsy password. Look at how many users there is. I mean, Jesus. Might as well get a count of them at this point. That's 30 users, 30 lines. Damn, that's even more than I thought. It's not doing a thing to me, is it? I don't know when that started with Debian not putting all of the programs on path for regular users. I don't remember which T2. It's 7. Always like 7 or 5 or something. So yeah, Debian. Debian is very cool. And lots of cool stuff in here. So yeah, if there is a file browser, that would be cool. But I don't think there is one, at least not that I can see. Shell tool. It's just terminal, apparently. Yeah, you get some themes as well. Kind of starting the customization and whatnot. The racing, all right here is where it starts. Jaywalk. What is jaywalk? Interesting. There's some real like leak hacker. Look at me. I don't know why that's so blurry. Those buttons. I don't know if it's intended for a much larger screen or something or a much smaller one. But yeah, here we go. Aesthetic. Big. Oh my god, so it is. Blue ice. Yeah, that's certainly blue. Nice. I mean, it was, Win 3.1. Sure, why not? Yeah, there it is. I wonder if that's the theme I had from the beginning. Try Win 95. Yeah, I feel like that checks out. About nice. It is nice. RxVT. I don't know. I'm not a fan of black text on white. I don't know where this started or why this became a thing. I guess on CRTs. No, I don't know. I mean, I feel like white text on black is still much more readable on CRTs, but it's probably not as searing on a CRT. I'm gonna try to. I'll definitely film some B-roll or something of this on a CRT just to show you how it looks. Fortunately, I probably have to lower down the resolution because this might be too high for CRT. I wonder if there's like X info or something where we can see that. There should be. Oh, it's just more Linux kernel info. Let's go ahead and shut it off. I think that just brings us back to the login screen. Oh yeah, and this is using init. It's pretty cool. System is going down for system halt now. Killing all processes.